Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ilian and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Martin. Martin is from Hamburg in Germany. So let's see what Martin has to say. Enjoy the interview. Amazing. So, hello, Martin. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very good. Yeah, you know, life, right? There's always busyness, there's always stuff to do, but I'm quite happy with it. How about you?
Very good. Yes, I've been very well. So, tell me, how was your day today?
The day started out and I thought I was getting sick, but this evening I feel better, having a relaxed and easygoing day. So I'm quite pleased with that. And I was looking forward for this podcast, this interview. So I had a good day. I feel great.
Amazing. So, tell me, where are you from, Martin?
I'm from Hamburg in the northern part of Germany. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, tell me, what's the biggest joy of living Hamburg?
It is a very beautiful city with a lot of water and a lot of greenery. So it's quite nice to spend time in the outdoors. And to me, it has the perfect mixture of everything a big city has to offer, but it's not so big that it becomes overcrowded and overstuffed all the time. So it's a very nice middle ground.
Amazing. And Hamburg is the place where you're born and raised?
Yes, lived here all my life.
Amazing. Actually, I've been there twice already. I've been Hamburg twice. I have some friend who lives
Yeah,
there.
cool. What did you like the most about the city?
I like there was like a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend, he lives very close to this lake, and we were kind of walking around, and it was amazing, beautiful city. I loved as well. Um, you know, um, the center of the city, you could walk all the way. There was like a big cathedral as well. You can go all the way up.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name now, but anyway, yeah, it was great. It was a great time over there for sure.
Awesome.
And what do you do for work for a living, Martin?
I'm a full-time instructor of self-defense, martial arts, everything around the realm of human aggression and violence. And I prepare people to deal with this in a number of different ways, from professional groups like teachers, paramedics, social workers, to average civilians, that they can increase the awareness, safety, and preparedness in their lives.
Wow, that's amazing. I was checking your profile a little bit. I could see some of your videos. I could see some of your pictures. So tell me, when
Yeah.
was the idea for you to create your business, for you to, help people to defend themselves, to be
Yeah.
able to deal with violence? Walk me through a little bit more about the idea.
I mean, that one has been a long time coming. I've been in martial arts since I was 5 years old, about the time, and
Hmm.
pretty much ever since in a number of different ways. And I started teaching when I was 20, 21. And it was just like one class per week kind of thing. And from there, it evolved more and more. And at some point, it was like 50% of my work time. I was studying, I was working on the side, and I was teaching quite a lot. And that is the thing I enjoyed the most. And in 2020, especially when the COVID pandemic hit Germany, I was sitting at home in the first lockdown we had here, and I pretty much had nothing to do. So I was kind of forced to look at my life and make a decision. What do I want to do from here? And all the other options I had explored so far in life, they either didn't work out or they were not fulfilling me. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just go in full time with this self-defense teaching approach. And from there, I started to create my own name, my own brand, my own website, and just went in head first ever since and never regretted a second of it.
Oh my God, I love it. I think it's amazing for you to, do something that you have experienced this young age and also helping people. I think nowadays people, it's amazing to have some basic understanding or maybe more, not just basic, but full understand about to protect themselves or maybe to help others as well in situations that maybe, something's happening. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Martin. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey. Okay.
Okay, I'm excited.
Right?
Let's
Are you
go.
ready? Are you ready to go on a
Yes.
beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, of course. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before I start the interview, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Amazing. First question for you is, describe yourself in a positive and a negative word only.
Okay, for the positive word, I pick willing, in the sense of like willing to grow, willing to challenge, willing to do
Okay.
different. So I have a lot of motivation there. And for the negative word, it's actually, I think the flip side of that, it can become obsessive. That's the negative word, because
Uh-huh.
taking up a lot of focus on certain things and having this feeling of need to do this, need to get this right. So with the willingness can come a lot of obsessiveness if I'm not careful and pay a lot of attention to how my mind approaches.
And what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Martin?
The biggest joy about being myself is that I get to discover who I am and to redefine who I am through time. Looking at
Mhm.
the changes of my life, especially during the last 2, 3 years, and discovering that there's so much more to being me than I thought there is. All this potential and creativity that was unleashed, that was quite inspiring and awesome to witness. So the most beautiful thing is to discover who I am or who I can be.
Wow. And what will be the title of your memoir? One day, when you're gonna like write a book about your life, put some memoirs together, what will be the title of it?
And that's a good question. I I am I pondered for many years writing a book. And
Mhm.
I set myself actually as a goal for this year to start doing that. It
Amazing.
would not be a memoir, but more of a, let's call it philosophical book.
Okay.
And like I have the idea for that book, and maybe that works as a memoir title as well, and that would be Violence and Trust.
Wow. It's a good one. And when people read it, what's the message that would you like people to take with them when they read your book?
The main centerpiece of something like that, and of my thinking and of my approaches, is that we always have a choice. We always have a choice to improve. We always have a choice to accept what's going on. We always have a choice to challenge. We always have a choice to be different than who we are. We always have a choice to stand up and not accept. We always have a choice to do something different. So I think I'm a big proponent of free will.
Hmm.
And even though circumstance always plays a role, like if it's biology, genetics, or societal, but within that frame, we have a choice. So this empowerment of thought, like you can do something. You have the right to, you have the skills to, you have the to do. And that's a very beautiful thought, in my opinion.
Wow. For sure. I like that a lot. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Martin from Germany. Okay, next question is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
I like two things quite a lot about my best friends. And the first one is loyalty. Like, I know I could call them in the middle of the night if there's something, and they would be there. And I know
Hmm.
that I would do the same for them. That has been tested over the years. But with that loyalty comes this unchallenged certainty of I can say whatever I think, and I can go to my best friends, or they can come to me and I can be like, you know what, my friend, this thing you're doing right now, that's just dumb. You should better not do it. and they will always take it as a supportive statement. So loyalty with, yeah, with honesty.
Wow. Tell me a friend that, for example, when you are feeling the greatest, the happiest for different reasons, and this friend comes to your mind for you to share the news or somehow share the moment. And also the same friend, sometimes when you're feeling the lowest, you're feeling sad or melancholic or something not going on in your life, you feel like, okay, I need to share that as well. So tell me a person that comes to your mind.
Like the best friend I have is my partner. So every time there's joy in my life, I want to share it with her. And every time there was some sadness and grief in my life, she was there too. So all the nuances and all the, all the flavors of life without
Uh-huh.
anything held back, I can share with her.
Wow. Okay, so your partner, she's watched this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Thank you. I love you.
Oh, sweet.
Straight to the point, right? That's the important thing.
So tell me how.
Gratitude and love.
So tell me how did your path cross for the very first time? Can you share?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's actually quite a sweet story. Um, she's from Chile, and I met
Uh-huh.
her here in Hamburg on a very like random event. She was traveling the world and came back to Hamburg. She lived here for a couple of years, traveled the world, and came back. And she basically landed on that day in Hamburg, went to her apartment, and then was her first kind of activity in the city. She wanted to meet a friend. She was on the subway. And I came home from training and I sat across her in the subway car and I saw her and yeah, our eyes crossed and we looked each other straight into the eyes and then I asked her whether I can give her my number. And there was
Wow,
like two and a half years ago now, and here we are.
that's amazing. Oh my God. I think that was the best ride in the train we ever had.
Yes.
That's
Yes, that was
amazing.
awesome.
I love your attitude. I love that somehow we felt some connection there and you offered to give you her number. I love that. I think sometimes we need
Yeah.
to be brave, you know what I mean? To just say something or somehow,
Yeah.
give a first step.
And saw her and she was beautiful and I got a bit scared. I was like, I wanted to ask her, but I was a bit scared and I was like, fearing rejection, being a bit shy. But then she looked me straight into the eyes and was like, wait,
That's it.
fuck. I just have to ask her. I cannot pass this on.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And how long did it take for her to contact you after that?
Uh, Not long, like within half an hour, she texted me and was like, hey, it was very nice of you. And then we started chatting and we met 3 days after for our first date. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, have been in contact ever since, have been dating, have been together, have traveled together, and now we live together here.
Oh, amazing. Love it. Next question. Let's do it. Right. So before the next question, Martin, let's go back to your business. You teach a lot of people. Yeah. So tell me, it says in your profile, the phrase was there and got my attention. It says there, every human being deserves protection. Yeah. And it says
Yeah.
violence, preservation, and resolution as well. So my question for you is, when people, when they come to you for to start a class or to start some trainings, why they give some reasons or they just want to, to protect themselves. They just want to be ready for what's the main reasons that people they come to you for you to provide the service that
Yeah.
you do.
That is very diverse. It really, really depends on the setting of the class. So if it's a professional setting, like just this weekend, I worked with a group of paramedics, and their job is obviously to help people in need. But within their professional work, they quite often get in contact with people who are aggressive, who are drunk, who cross lines. So they need to defend themselves, and they come with a like no bullshit attitude. They're just like, I want to do my work, but I want to do it better. I don't want to get hurt in it. Give me something for that. And then there are people who have experienced violence in a very traumatizing way, and they're scarred by that. And they were like, back then I was a victim, but I don't want to be a victim any longer. I want to learn to be prepared. I want to learn how to overcome. And from there, I want to learn how to be strong. So that's a very different thing. And like in general, you can say there are like three groups of people, very generalized. One is
Mm-hmm.
like something dangerous happened to me and it should never happen again. Or
Okay.
I'm scared that something dangerous happens and I don't want it. And then there are the ones who are like, okay, getting in contact with violence, learning how to fight, that poses a challenge and I enjoy this challenge. So it's like a lot of overcoming limitations, overcoming fear, challenging oneself. Because in the end, I always imagine it as like a spectrum. On the one end is self-defense, and on the other end is fighting. Like imagine it like an MMA fight. Those guys can fight for sure, but it's not the same circumstance as self-defense because of environmental factors, because of surprise, because of asymmetrical like weight classes or goals of the encounter, and so many more things. So if I can fight, but I don't understand self-defense, I have a problem. If I know self-defense, but I cannot really fight because going against somebody who's quite experienced will still be very hard. So it's two ends of the spectrum. And the more I work with people, the more they can transcend the spectrum. And the fighters learn what self-defense is, and the self-defense people learn how to fight. So in the beginning, it's quite often looking at what end of the spectrum are they? Are those martial artists who just enjoy the challenge? Or are these everyday people who want to go in their individual lives with more safety?
I see. And most of the people, your clients, they are females or males or a mix of them.
Completely mixed. Like I do classes, especially like workshops on the weekends that are for females only. In
Okay.
my personal opinion, there is no such thing as women's self-defense because the way a female body moves and the way a male body moves in the end is similar. If you get punched by a woman or punched by a man, it's not a big difference. Obviously, weight matters and the distribution of muscle matters. The average man is physically stronger than the average woman, but those are averages, says nothing about the situation.
I
So
see.
if we treat women's self-defense as something like secluded from all the rest, that subtly tells the story of you're already victims, you've already lost the encounter. There are some forms of violence that are more prone to females, and there are some forms of violence that are more prone to males. But in the end, the solutions for those things are quite similar. So treating they as different subjects, in my opinion, has only one advantage, and that is creating a safe space. Because what is very likely statistically is that women experiences violence with a man as a perpetrator. So if we do mixed groups with women who have experienced violence, mostly from men, and there are men in the room that can increase alertness, that can create a barrier to even join the course. So female-only self-defense is more for creating a safe space and then in the end doing similar things than for a mixed group. And overall, there is not nearly 50-50, but let's say 60-40 male to female participants in my courses,
Hmm.
because fighting and violence is still more of a male topic than a female topic in society.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what's the most memorable lesson you've learned from your parents?
The most memorable lesson is humbleness. You never
Uh,
know who's in front of you.
okay.
You never know what that person needs, what that person is capable of, what the person has done. So treating every single human being with respect and yeah, humility, doing the best you can do and not assuming anything about his or her life and yeah, having a solid baseline when approaching another.
When you think about your childhood memories, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
One of the best memories of my childhood I have is I was in my like early teenage years, late childhood. I was with a Boy Scout group here in Hamburg, Germany, and we did hiking trips over the summer. And one hiking trip we did to Lapland, which is like this triangle area where Sweden, Norway, and Finland meet. So it's very up in the north.
Wow.
And it was like the whole day the sun didn't set. So it was like sun the whole day and it was this hugely wide open spaces with mountains and lakes and rivers. And I remember this feeling of we were 9 people hiking there together, but other than those 9 people, there was no civilization, no other human being for like hundreds of kilometers in every direction. And I remember this feeling of like freedom in that white and openness, that there was no form and no restriction around. And that's a feeling I carried with myself ever since.
Oh, wow. How old are you at the time?
I was 15 at that time.
Very young. Very young. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you have siblings as well, or you are the only child?
Yeah, I have a brother, older brother.
What? Other one? Okay. Three questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
What can make me cry and what can make me happy?
Yeah? Do you cry easily?
I learned over the last few years to not suppress it when it comes. It's not that often. I had a bit of numbness in my emotions, which I'm discovering more and more.
Okay.
So I'm allowing it. Like the last 2 times I cried was during watching movies. Like I watched Hamnet. I don't know. It's like recently in the movies, and it's basically about William Shakespeare, the author, and how he's uh, dealing with the death of his son, and especially how his wife deals with the death of their son.
Oh
And
my
that
God.
one was a hard one to watch, but it was like brilliantly made. I can really
I watched it.
recommend it.
I watched as well.
Yeah.
It was very, very, I was expecting to be that way actually. When I was in the cinema, I was like, oh my God, I was expecting. Brilliant movie. I love it.
Yeah. And in the end, there's this scene where the play Hamlet is
Yeah.
performed in the Globe Theater,
Amazing.
and the mom is in the audience and is reaching her hand out to the actor who plays her son.
Yeah.
And the actor doesn't know what's going on, right? And it's just confused. Why is this strange woman reaching her hand to me? And then the whole audience, like all the people around it, they start reaching their hands out. And that moment just cracked me open because it was so beautiful to see how the
Beautiful.
rawness of emotion
Goose,
like connected with everybody else. Yes,
you're talking about
there
now. I
was
can get goosebump now. You're talking about I get goosebump. Just remember the scene.
yeah,
It was powerful.
yeah, yeah, it was really powerful. So that's something that really gets me, like those raw emotions and the transmission of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, what makes me happy? What makes me really happy is just fully being in the moment, like fully enjoying what is there with me, whether it's like a food or a person or a movie or just being in the end. And you know, those fleeting moments when there are no thoughts, no pressures, no ideas, no I need to do this now. When none of that is present in your mind and you're just there. And then no matter what you do, it can be beautiful. So experiencing that kind of awareness and presence, every time I feel that, I'm really happy.
And do you believe that happiness is a choice?
Yes. Yes, I do. I think there are lots of things. Like I said before, I'm a big proponent of free will. I think we humans have a lot of agency, a lot more than we realize most of the time. And things like love, like freedom, happiness, but also violence and abuse and hatred, a lot of those things are not emotions. They are choices. Obviously, they can be fueled by emotions. They can be dependent on circumstances. And everything is an interaction with whoever else is there. But in the end, the only thing I can truly control is myself. I can control the approach I have to things. I can control which reaction I do give. And if I don't jump within in like an automatic repetition, like the immediate first thought that pops into my mind, or this patterns of behavior I learned through my life. And if I stop and like, you know what? What do I actually want to do here? And there is an opportunity to choose happiness in almost every case.
Do you feel like you are living your happiest moment right now in your life?
I feel like I'm living the happiest moment I can live today.
I like that. That's amazing. The present. I love that. Wow. Very powerful. Two questions left. Let's do it.
Let's go.
You like dancing?
Yeah, by now I really like dancing. It was one of those things. I was, for a lot of my life, I was quite obsessed with doing the right thing and doing it the right way. Like
Yeah.
a lot of perfectionism, a lot of it has to be this way. So I never dared to dance. Because dancing is the thing you cannot dance right or wrong, right? It's just you
Yeah,
can't.
totally. Just
So,
move yourself.
so yes, exactly. So I always felt weird. I always felt judged, mostly by myself, because other people don't really care, right?
Of course.
And I never dared. But yeah, I've discovered that I really like dancing. Music is
Amazing.
beautiful and just moving the body is pure fun.
The therapy for sure. Right.
Yeah.
So before the next question, I'm going to ask two questions, okay? Two
Okay.
questions based on your career and life experience. So the first part of the question is, have you ever been in a situation where you need to use your skills because it was a violent moment? You know, I don't know, something that somehow you need to protect yourself, you need to use it. And the second part of the question is, have you ever been in a situation where you need to step in a violence moment, in a real violence that you need to somehow interfere? Did it ever happen both situations? Can you share that or not?
Yeah. I will answer both questions within one thing because the answer is in the end the same.
Okay.
The last time I was in a fight was in school when I was still a child. And that started for some childish petty reasons. And it was not a big deal or a very violent altercation either. It was like some shoves in the end, so nothing strong. And that was before I started truly to engage with self-defense. And ever since, I was able to talk my way out or avoid pretty much every situation that could have become dangerous. And also, I'm quite aware that I'm not the easiest pick for a victim because of physicality, because of mentality, because of awareness. But stepping in into violent encounters, that happened every now and then. Not so often, but let's say, I don't know, once per year over the last year, something like that. And was everything from like intervening in a brawl to assisting somebody who got robbed to just calling the police and staying out of it. So I have lived a relatively peaceful life for most of my life, even though I professionally engage quite a lot with violence.
Based on that, people watch this interview right now. Maybe they, if they, what would be your advice if maybe they've been engaged in a violence moment, they don't have skills, they don't have, some people say just, don't fight back. Some people say just run. Some people say just protect yourself. In your opinion, in your experience, what would be your advice, depending the situation? What there's something like um, a unique advice or something that you would suggest or maybe
Yeah,
give a suggestion to people?
I I do it two-folded because giving advice to somebody who know it's a bit like giving love advice. I do not know who is listening. I do not know what their life is, what their relationship is like. So how can I give advice to their specific circumstances, but I can do two things quite in general. And the first is prepare before, get some training, do some stuff. It's like first aid. You want to know it now, you don't want to react without knowing it in the moment. So you have time. Go somewhere, find some training, enjoy it, you will have some fun, you will learn a lot. The other thing is because stuff happens, people are not prepared, and then you still end up in those encounters. I think the most vital thing is making clear decisions. So in some moments, running is obviously the best options. In some moments, fighting back is the best options. In some moments, you don't really know. But whatever you do, make a very conscious and very clear choice and then act with everything you have on that. So if you need to run, run with everything you have. If you need to fight, fight with everything you have. But this mental clarity is in the end the most important thing. And you need to make that decision. You're in that moment, make the decision and follow through.
I like that, actually. Good one. Okay. Next question is, tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you when you're a child at school.
Yeah. I've I have one story I always found hilarious, which I can share, and it's from the rebellious phase of my teenage years because I had a phase where I was very strongly against any form of authority and rebelling quite a lot. And of course, I had the friends who joined in for that. And yeah, like a couple of phases for the story to land the point. For one of my birthdays, three of my best friends went over town and they planted graffitis over town with like each graffiti one letter spelling out a sentence. And I made photos of that, and that was my birthday gift. And one of the letters, the letter E, was at a door in our school. So there was a big red E on that door. And of course, the school had it repainted, right? Because it was some property damage. And in our childish minds back then, there was something we found extremely hilarious to go back into the school the very next night and just repaint the E. So
Oh
they
my
had to
God.
restart again. But I had this one friend, and you probably have a friend like that too, or at least you had when you were young. The one who always needs to go a bit further. Like it's one step more, right? He cannot leave it at that. And it was like this door, and there were like big glass frames for the classrooms right next to it, like very big, like 2 meter high glasses. And he was going around, and he was spraying dicks all over those glass, like giant penises. And I remember I was in that classroom the very next day, and my English teacher, she was just too confused and too confounded by the sight of that, yeah, like childish menace. And then came the janitor with like a tiny ladder and like his bucket full of water and some piece of cloth, and was like removing those graffitis from the glasses while the whole class was watching him. And it was something, even though it was destructive and it was from this like childish anger, but I still have some part of the child inside of me and can still laugh about that story.
Do you think you deserve? They deserve it, don't they? I think you guys deserve it at the time, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I did lots of stuff when I was younger, but needing to find ways to let out the anger that was there inside of me, and from today coming to reconcile that and be like, damn, I was so overwhelmed by that anger, and now I can see it differently. That change in the trajectory that came from there that taught me so much that even though for like a year or two ago I would have been ashamed of that story and would not have shared it, but today I can be like, yeah, there was 18-year-old Martin, and he had that, yeah, kind of like dumb teenage energy inside of himself. But from today's perspective, I can see why that is. So even though I would not do that anymore, I would not think of it as something to be done in general, I can still be grateful for the way that Martin found, yeah, ways to let out his anger, it was this way and not any other way.
Totally. You are just learning through life. Life, we need to go through those situations to learn about life, about situations. Sometimes just the only way to learn, for sure, going through that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
Last question, ready?
Let's go.
As you have your partner, she's from Chile. Do you know how to say last question in Spanish?
Lista pregunta, but I'm not sure.
Última pergunta.
Última pregunta.
It's like
Right.
Portuguese, the same. Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, tell me situation, since you're teaching people, you helping people through your classes. Tell me a situation that you're never gonna forget. Could be maybe a feedback from one of your students, could be maybe a situation that they were very thankful because you help you teach them or you help them somehow. There's something that you must that you hold close to your heart.
I mean, I have a lot of moments like that, but the first one who popped into my mind right now is actually a moment where I fucked it up. And and I think those moments I want to hold them very dear because that one turned me a big lesson. And it was one lady in my class and she came for let's say a month or two, but she was always late. Every single class she was late for 5 or 10 minutes. And then at one point I was like, okay, it's enough. I need to have a talk with her about this. And back then, by now it's 8 years ago or so. Back then, I thought I was empathetic about it, and I approached her and I was like, "Hey, can we talk for a moment?" And I said, "Like, you look, everybody else is on time, and it would be quite respectful for the group. Please make an effort to be on time, so everybody enjoys the same kind of respect and the same kind of baseline for the class." And she never came back. And I thought about that one quite strongly because now looking back on it with the knowledge I have by now, I think she was severely depressed or had some other kind of a strong emotional pressures on herself. And looking at a person like that is like, yeah, she probably used all the efforts and all the energy she had to even come to class. And there was a lot of self-talk talking her down, like, yeah, I cannot do this anyways and stuff like that. And then I come from a position of authority and like, you know what, you're doing it wrong. Look at everybody else. Everybody else is better than you. That's probably how she heard it. And I remember that one so strongly because I thought I'd do good, but I didn't. And that one has been with me ever since as a token reminder that I never know what's inside of a person. I can only provide guidance and I can open a door, but I can never push somebody through. And every time I try to, there will be unforeseen circumstances. So that one has been with me as a reminder quite strongly to accept people just as they are. And by now, it's like if somebody shows up late, I'm like, hey, thank you for being here anyways. So that is a maybe not a happy memory in and of itself, but it has been a strong reminder of how to approach.
I love your answer, Martin. I think it's amazing for you to realize that because, as you know, it's a reminder for us sometimes when people, you know, for some reason they are late or for some reason they are not feeling the best, they are not smiling, they are not engaging, maybe in a classroom. There's always something behind, and sometimes you never know what's going on in their private lives, in their professional lives, or maybe on their day as well. Maybe something happened, or maybe something with themselves. We never know, and sometimes we need to put ourselves in their shoes or find a way to first understand what's going on, and after we somehow make a decision or approach in a different way. But I love the way because you realize that, you know what I mean, you went through a situation that after felt like, you know what, maybe I was a bit rash, or maybe I was a bit maybe too fast to try to approach the situation. But I think the positive side of it is you learned a lesson, and now you always gonna have this maybe awareness in your mind. You
Hmm.
know, if other situations similar happen, you're going to find a different way to approach or to understand more before making a decision to have a talk or maybe to say something. I love that. It's amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Welcome.
Hey, last question is, it's a good question for you. What do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
I think the most important thing people need to know about each other is their most intrinsic value, what matters most to them for what a good life is. And it could be anything, could be direction the life to take in, could be something moral, could be the way to enjoy themselves, doesn't matter. But what is the most important thing for me that makes life good? And what's the most important thing for you that makes life good? And from there we can decide whether to take steps together or not. And that requires a lot of awareness and honesty, because quite often we bullshit ourselves whether this thing I truly need or maybe it's something else. So having this awareness of what is the centerpiece of my life, and if I'm aware of this is my life, this is the most important thing for me, from there entering a relationship will dissolve a lot of confusion and stress and bring clarity, and then people can find out whether they want to walk the path together or not.
Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, so audience, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to say some words, just tell one word that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Home.
Money.
Tool.
Fear.
Friend.
Life.
I did not understand the word.
Life.
Life. Journey.
Religion.
Interesting.
Love.
Fundamental.
Politics.
Confusing.
Sex.
There's not one word. Say important but dangerous.
Okay. Friendship.
Connection.
Desire.
Misleading.
Regret.
Regretful.
Success.
Dependent.
Wish.
Perspective.
Happiness.
Choice.
One word for Hamburg.
Water.
One word for Germany.
Potatoes.
Say again.
Potatoes. It's like the inside joke that
Potato.
Germans love potatoes so much they're potato people.
I like that. One word for critical response, the name of your business. I can't see. One word for it.
Is determination.
Wow. And the last one now, martial arts. One word.
Confrontation.
Wow. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your partner, define Martin in one positive and one negative word only. What should say about you?
Unstoppable and crazy, probably.
Which one is the positive? Which one is the negative? I'm joking. I'm joking. Amazing. Let's play now Martin in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before asking the question, tell me what martial arts has taught you so far.
Martial arts has taught me many, many things, but I think the most fundamental one is nobody is unbeatable. That means I cannot become unbeatable. That means the only fight that really matters, the only fight every single time one steps into a sparring, a duel, a fight, whatever situation it is the fear within oneself. I'm not fighting the other guy, I'm fighting myself in that moment. And the other guy in the end is my friend who helps me to do that. And within that within that fight, within that aggression, overwhelm, and pain and confusion, there's a moment to find peace. And I
Well,
think that transfers to all of life in the end, that we're fighting ourselves the whole time. And the more we accept ourselves and use the fight to learn something about ourselves, the more we can come to peace.
wow, beautiful. Okay, Martin, you can ask me a question now.
Yeah, I thought about that. Thought about that. And the most interesting question I could come up with what is something that you believe is undeniable true?
Oh my God, what a great question. What a great question. And I must say, I've done here over 1,000 interviews on the show and nobody asked me this question yet. That's wow, incredible. I love it. I think because I saw so many questions for the show, but I think nobody asked me this question, at least this way. Right. I have the answer straight away for you. I could tell so many things that, I know that, through my life experience, through my understanding, I'm sure it is something right. However, the first thing that popped to my mind straight away when you finish the question is when you are yourself, when you are totally yourself, 100% yourself, you're going to connect with the right people. The wrong people, it will go away. People, they're going to see the real person and they're going to appreciate that. So that's, I know for sure. When you literally, be yourself, like all the time, trust me, you don't have any something heavy on your shoulders. You don't need to worry about what people think about you. You don't need to worry about anything because even when you do mistakes as well, it's not just like when you are positive, when you do mistakes as well, it's the real person. And I think it's amazing for you to go to sleep every single night knowing that you feel relieved. You just, it's like you just achieve, for me, it's like success. Meaning of success is when you you understand that being your truly self is the only way to be, is the only way to go because you live a life, authentic life. You live authentic because you are just yourself. So that's something that I know for sure. It's something that when I think about it, that's why I embrace who I am. I embrace my negativity, my positivity, my challenges, everything that I need to improve about myself. And I know I need to improve, I need to learn, but it's myself. So something that I've learned, even though sometimes, if I even cross my mind to maybe behave in a way that's not myself, straight away I go like, no, I cannot be this way because not me. And it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel myself. And even though people, they don't know you, they're going to see that it's not the right person or you are pretending or there's something there that's not completely clear. So yeah, Martin, is a great question. So that's something I know for sure, and I've learned through life that be yourself the most you can. I know sometimes it can be difficult for people for different reasons, different things. I understand that. I get it. However, if you try to be yourself all the time, or most of the time, you're gonna live a very authentic life and you're gonna feel very happy. And happiness is gonna be something natural for you because you are literally being yourself. That's my answer.
Awesome. I love that answer too. That was a good one.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, I had a lot of fun.
Thanks again, Martin. Thanks again for taking the time for the interview. I know you are a busy man and you took the time. And also, I had here so many people, and I was so fascinated when I checked your profile a little bit, and I could see the job that you do. And I was like, Margaret, that's amazing for him to, to help others. In the end of the day, you are just literally helping other people. I think it's amazing. And I found very interesting. And when you accept my invitation, I was like, yes, he accepted. I wanted to talk more about it. And carry on with your business, carry on with your idea. I think people appreciate that a lot. I think, knowing some knowledge about protect yourself, protect others as well. At the end of the day, you are protecting others as well, because you never know. You might be in a situation that you need to step in, you need to somehow use your knowledge. And I think for you to be able to teach people that, it's an amazing idea, and based on your personal life and your experience as well in martial arts. And I think it's great. I think it's great for you to do this job. So carry on. I wish all the best for your business. And when next time when I come to Hamburg, we're going to go for a coffee. Okay?
Yeah, let's do that. Awesome. Thank you so
Amazing.
much for having me. That was fun.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah. Yeah, you asked me for like a question and a quote. So that was my question. And I thought about the quote and I went to my little like booklet of memorable things I wrote down for myself over the years. And the one that popped out that I wanted to share is we don't care because we love because we care. And I want to change quite a lot for myself in my personal life, change the perspective, because care about the things that are important and you will love them.
Wow, good one. I love that for sure. Thanks again. Have a good night. Regards to your family, to your friends, to your partner, and you keep in touch. Okay, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay,
That's it.
have a good night. Take care.
You too, man. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye. See you. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.